everybody, I'm Surix, Quality Pro Elite Gamer Plays, and welcome to my first video of Darkest Dungeon for Noobs. I've been streaming Darkest Dungeon for a very long time now. I've played about 500 hours of this game, and I've seen recently in chat there's a lot of people asking me, what is this game? How do you play this game? I'm about to start playing this game. Do you have any tips for me? And that gave me an idea to make some videos on beginner tips for people who are completely new to Darkest Dungeon. Back in my day, we only had the Darkest version. We didn't have Radiant version. This is for little babies. I'm just kidding. For real though, I recommend starting on Radiant. If you are completely new and you don't know anything about this game, I highly implore that you start on Radiant. If you're like me and are kind of prideful and are kind of really amazing at video games and feel bad about yourself if you play an easy mode in any game, I feel you. Trust me, I feel you. I refuse to play on easy mode in any game, okay? It's just something within me that prevents me from doing that. And if you're like me, then okay, start with Darkest mode. That's the normal mode. It's the original settings for the game. So if you really want to play the game as it was created to begin with, that is your decision. If you don't care about playing on easy mode or whatever, you just want to learn how to play the game, then I would highly recommend that you start with Radiant. It's still hard, okay? Radiant is still hard, but it's less grindy, it's a little bit more forgiving, and so it even says right here on the bottom it is suggested for your first Darkest Dungeon experience. Alright, here we go. So that was the first tip, which level to choose. So normally your game will have the tutorials automatically on when you first start them. I'm gonna have them off so that I can explain to you what I want to explain to you. So here we are, start off in a room. We always start off in a room. You click here on the bottom right, this is our map. You click down here on the bottom right, this is our inventory. For our tutorial, we just start off with 2 characters, but for all other dungeons, we'll start off with 4. Now, if we look here, we have some skills, combat skills. Camping skills, don't even think about this right now. This first video is only going to cover the very, very beginning of the game. Don't even look at the quirks. Don't even look at that. I just want you to look at these combat skills with me, okay? So let's take a look at these combat skills. Here you will see the preferred position, preferred target. Preferred position, so there's, because I said normally in dungeons there will be 4 people. I would call this a 4th position, 3rd position, 2nd position, 1st position, because this is, you know, the front, because the enemies will come on your right side. So you are in the front line. When you mouse over all these skills, it'll show you the yellow dots on the left side and the red dots on the right side. The yellow dots indicate which position you must be in order to use this skill. The red dots indicate what position the enemy must be in for you to be able to hit them in this skill. Therefore, in order to use Smite, you must be in either the 1st or 2nd position, and it can only reach enemies in the 1st and 2nd position of their line. Similar to the first skill that we looked at, this skill can only be used if you are standing in the 1st or 2nd position. However, you may see a little line connecting those 2 red circles. That means it's an AoE attack, and it'll hit both of the enemies that are in the 1st and 2nd position of their line. The next skill, Stunning Blow, same position as Smite. You have to be in position 1 or 2, and the enemy has to be in position 1 or 2. Bulwark of Face is a buff, and honestly, I don't really use this that much, so I'm not even really gonna go over it. So, because all of these skills require you to be in the 1st and 2nd position, that's why his preferred overall position is 1st or 2nd. In 3rd and 4th position, you will see nothing because the game is telling you do not put this character in the 4th or 3rd position because they will not be able to do anything. And the preferred targets it shows you are going to be the frontliners. So this is a frontliner who attacks frontliners. Everything else, don't even bother looking at. It's a lot of information. All you need to know right now are how to use which skills, okay? Let's take a quick look at the 2nd person. Here you'll see that the preferred position is mostly in the 2nd or 3rd position. there's a little bit of a yellow in the last position and a little bit in the yellow in the first position, and that means he has some skills that can be used in either the first or last position, but it's not the preferred position. Let's take a look at why that is. So these are the skills that are unlocked. All level 0 heroes that you recruit will have only 4 skills unlocked, and you will not be able to unlock the rest of the skills until you reach a certain point in the game. So we're just not even going to look at them right now. So pistol shot, as you can see, there's 3 yellows in positions 2, 3, and 4, and then there's 3 reds in the positions 2, 3, and 4. This means that you cannot use pistol shot when you are in the front. And you can use it in any other position. You cannot use it while you are in the front of the line, and you can only shoot the enemies that are in position 2, 3, and 4. You cannot shoot an enemy that is in the first position. Now let's go to here. Grape Shot Blast can only be used if you are in position 2 and 3, but it's an AoE attack which hits all 3 enemies in positions 1, 2, and 3. Tracking shot you can use in any position because all 4 of those circles are yellow, but you cannot hit the enemy that is in position 1. You can only hit the enemy in position 2, 3, and 4. And finally, we have Open Vein, which you can use in position 1, 2, and 3, but you cannot use it if you are in the back line because it's a melee attack. So it does kind of make sense if you're going to use a sword to try to hit somebody. Probably can't do it if you're like far away from them. And you can only hit the people in positions 1 and 2, so the people right in front of you, because your knife is, you know, I'm sure you can throw the knife, but he doesn't want to throw his knife and lose it. So you can only hit the person in positions 1 and 2. And this is why it shows that, yes, you could put him in position 1 because you do have a move that you can use in position 1. However, because he can't use Grape Shot Blast or Pistol Shot while in position 1, probably good to have him at 2 or 3. Now, I've only talked about positionings. I haven't really talked about exactly what these skills do. I'll be going through that in just a second. When you start out in a room, you're going to want to open your map up because the map is how you move. If you try to move around in this room, it's not going to do anything. It'll tell you select a destination room on the map. So, we are in this room. We now want to go into this room. So click on that room, and then you will see 4 squares here in the hallway. This is the corridor. For each square that exists, there is a chance for there to be nothing. There's a chance for there to be something you can interact with. There's a chance for there to be a fight. There's a chance for there to be a trap. And there's a chance for there to be a hunger check. Now, don't even worry about those right now. I'm just letting you know that each square there's a chance for something to happen, okay? So we're gonna just go. You can use your WASD or you can use your mouse to click and move your people if we're playing on PC. So we're moving on. We're on the first square. Continue. We're gonna on the second square. There's a fight. So this is gonna be our first fight now. So skills that we cannot use are grayed out. We cannot use the pistol shot because it does not let you hit anybody that is in position 1. And we cannot use tracking shot because once again it does not let you hit but anybody in position 1, and this man is in position 1. We could use Open Vein, so let's take a closer look at exactly what Open Vein does. All you really need to know is that it bleeds people, and there's a chance to debuff the target to make them bleed a little easier by reducing their bleed resistance a little bit. But instead of just looking at this, and it's a lot of information, there's a lot of words, there's a lot of colors, it's better, I would recommend that you just hover over the person that you want to hit. And then look on the bottom right hand of the screen. We see that he has 12 HP. The chance for our hero to hit him is a 93% chance, which is very high. The chance for our hero to crit him is a 5% chance, so that's pretty low. And our hero damage will range between 4 and 8. That's what Open Vein does. Okay, there's a chance to bleed him, and we're going to do 4 to 8 damage, and he has 12 health. How much bleed is it going to do? It'll tell you if you hover over the actual skill, it'll do 2 bleed for 3 rounds, so a total of 6 bleed. Now, the only other skill that we can use currently is the Grape Shot Blast. This has an accuracy of 75, which doesn't really mean anything, right? Like, what does that even mean? So that's why I don't like looking at the numbers on here. I don't like looking at the accuracy base, the damage mod, the crit mod. It's just a lot of information. Just click on the skill, hover over the guy you wanna attack, and then see the actual percentages. So now you can see, oh, my chance for So hero to hit is 73% chance. AoE skills tend to do less damage because it is an AoE move and it hits multiple people. So it makes sense that it would be less damage. Let's use Open Vein to hit him. We got a 7 and the max was 8 and we even bled him. So he only has 3 health because the bleed goes through when it's his turn. Now, how do you know if it's your turn or not? I will get to that in the next battle, I promise you. So now, we can use all of our skills here because this man, every single one of his skills, he can use them in the first or second position. He's in the second position right now. So Smite, just click it, hover over him, 83% chance to hit, 6 to 12 damage. Veil's Accusation is an AoE skill, so we know it's probably gonna be a little less damaging. 83% chance to hit. It's 3 to 7 damage. We could still kill him. Now, Stunning Blow. As you may be able to tell from the name, this is a stun move, so it's not going to do as much damage because it is a utility move. It stuns the person and makes them skip the next attack. So it says 100% base, and to calculate your chance of stunning, you just hover over him and then look at his resistances. His stun resistance is 25, our stun chances of 100, so it's a 75% chance of stunning him. Let's not torture him any longer. Let's just use Smite to kill him. It's an 83% chance to hit. He'll probably hit him. And there we go. We got some money! So after most battles, you will get some loot. Inventory management is also a huge thing in Darkest Dungeon, which you'll learn by playing, but I will also go over in future videos. Continuing. So, we are now in the last square on this corridor. This is a curio. This is called a curio. A curio is just anything that you can interact with in the background. We found a traveler's tent. Most curios you do not want to just touch with your hand. For the sake of this tutorial, I will, because I know that this particular curio probably not going to screw me over. Okay, but most of the time, don't touch things with your hand, okay? I'll talk about curios later because that gets really complicated as well. So usually, you can click this little button here to put your party order back to default, but for some reason it doesn't let you do that in the tutorial, so you have to manually move. So if you want to move somebody back or forward, just click on the person you want to move, click move, and then click back. We want Reynold in the front and we want Dismas in the back, second place, because his preferred position is the second place. Alright, let's continue on. Let's go into this room. And here we have some people, so they are surprised. What surprised means is that none of them will move until you move. All of your units move. So enemies being surprised is really, really, really strong and really great for us. Now, I told you I was going to talk about how do we know who goes first. You know, like if I'm going to move first, which one of my characters are going to move first, which one of the characters of the enemies are going to move first. Let me tell you about a stat called speed. You can see right here, his speed. Dismas's speed is 7. Reynold's speed is 1. So, very likely that Dismas is going to attack first before Reynold does, or have his action. Now, if we look over here, we can see that this big man, his speed is 1, and this guy's speed is 6. This is important. Just because your speed is 7 and his is 6 does not guarantee that every single round your guy will go first. Because 7 doesn't mean exactly 7, it's a chance. So it's like a range, like the higher it is, the more chance you have of going first, but it doesn't mean you're definitely gonna go first. So if he wasn't surprised, then he could have gone first. He could have gone before Dismas, even though his speed is less than ours. So we don't really exactly 100% know who's gonna go first, but we have some kind of guess to be able to plan our moves. So we have Dismas here. We can use Tracking Shot. What Tracking Shot does is it buffs you your damage by 12%, your accuracy by 6, and your crit by 4% for the entire battle. I don't think we're gonna need it because there's only 2 people to kill, but let's use it. Why not? Let's use it. And it only did 2 damage because it's not meant to be a damaging skill, it's meant to be a buffing skill. So now I got also buffed for the entire battle. I might want to use Stunning Blow on this man. So this man, he occupies spaces 1 and 2. He is in position 3 and there's no one in position 4. So if you were to try to use, for example, pistol shot, and you might think, oh no, I can't use pistol shot on the big guy because he's in the first position. Well, lucky for us, he's in position 1 and 2. So I actually can hit him with pistol shot with dismiss when it's his turn again. So let's see. Let's try to maybe stun this big guy. The stun chance base is 100%, but his stun resistance is 50. That means we have a 50% chance of stunning him. Sometimes you might want to take that risk. Sometimes it's a really good idea. Sometimes it's not a great idea to take that risk. I'm going to go ahead and just use my big attack. 85% chance of hitting. And it does 6 to 12 damage. I think I'm happy with this. 12 damage! We got maximum damage out of Reynold. Thank you so much, Reynold. Okay, their Fusilier just did an AoE attack on us, and he just did an attack on us, but we resisted the bleed, which is really good. This AoE attack debuffed our dodge for a couple rounds, but that's okay. Now the surprise round is over. That means we're gonna go in turn, just based off of our speed rolls. Luckily, we did go first again. So let's try to get rid of this guy in the back because Dismiss is the only guy that can reach him right now. Reynold can't reach him, so we're gonna have to try to reach him. And let's use Pistol Shot because Grape Shot Blast just doesn't do that much damage because it is an AoE attack and it only has a 74% chance to hit. I don't like those odds. I like 84% chance. 16.5% chance to crit now with our crit buff. And it'll do 5 to 10 damage. There's a small chance that we can kill him because he only has 10 HP left. Ooh! And we got a crit, which I didn't think was gonna happen, but holy crap, we got a crit. Alright, so he's gone now, and I think I'm just gonna keep smiting. 6 to 12 damage. 8. Done. He's gonna use point blank shot, which is gonna be a big damaging move. 6 damage to him. He resisted movement, but don't even worry about that right now, okay? All you need to know is that he resists this something, and anytime they resist anything, it's good for us. Pistol shot, 91% chance to hit, 16.5% chance to crit. Pretty good. Or we could open vein, 95% chance to hit, 5 to 10 damage, and he only has a bleed resistance of 20, which means there's an 80% chance to bleed him. I think I like that. Let's do it. Okay, we got minimum damage because it was 5 to 10, but we did get the bleed on him, so we'll get 6.
Exposed to a
and we'll get 6 damage of bleed on him. So that crit us, which gave us a little bit of stress, and stress I'll talk about later as well. And give us a bleed. 2 damage for 5 rounds. But luckily, this is not going to last 5 rounds because we're going to kill this man right now. He has 8 HP. Right now, but he has a bleed of 2, so we only need to do 6 damage for him to be dead by the next turn. But he missed. But luckily, because his speed is 7 and hit is 1, or actually now it's -2 because we debuffed his speed. We definitely are gonna go first, which we did. And now let's just try to kill him. All we need to do is 6 damage once again, because he's gonna die with that bleed. But maybe let's try to just kill him right now. We got exactly 8 damage, and that's exactly what we needed. Amazing. So, I like to usually click continue adventuring, just in case, you know, anything pops up on the map, or if there's a chest in the room that you want to open. The chest in the tutorial will always be a trapped chest, and it'll never have anything good in it. Ever. Yep. It'll always blight you. We got a trinket here, and trinkets are things you can equip your hero with, but trinkets are kind of complicated, so I will be going over that later as well. This is really just like the most basic of basic explanations of the very, very beginning of the Darkest Dungeon. So we got some experience points. We're now level 1 instead of level 0. Let's see what Reynold got. So, after every dungeon, there is a chance for your people to get a negative quirk or a positive quirk or nothing. They might not get any quirk. This time, Reynold got Weald phobe. Weald is a dungeon, so that means if you take Reynold into the Weald, he'll get 20% more stress. Clutch hitter is an extra 5%. Crit chance if his health is below 50%. Pretty good. Dismas is a Cove adventurer. Cove is another type of dungeon. When you bring Dismas into the Cove, he'll get less stress taken than he usually would. So any of the yellow quirks are positive quirks, and any of the red quirks are negative quirks. Now we're going into Hamlet.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Such as it is.
When you first get into Hamlet, you're gonna notice 4 things, okay? Graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Most will end up here. What you guys have to understand is that Darkest Dungeon, you learn by failing. Expect to die, expect to lose your people, and yes, this is a permanent death game, so if one of your characters dies, they're dead. And all the money you spent on them is gone, with them to the grave. So it can be frustrating, but just know that you're supposed to die. You're supposed to die and you're supposed to learn from death. But sometimes you do everything perfectly and you still die because this game is based on RNG. Now, this is a nomad wagon, which honestly I never use. I would say please do not spend all your money on whatever trinkets you see in the shop. Money management in this game, especially early on, is so important. Do not spend money on these trinkets, okay? This is just
in time, you will know
like stories and stuff that you can watch. And then the stagecoach, this is very important. The stagecoach is where you recruit new heroes. The only heroes you will find right after the tutorial are gonna be a Vestal and a Plague Doctor. Both I really love. I love every single class. A lot of people ask me, who's your favorite class? And there are some that I like using a lot more than others, but I don't dislike any class. They all have their own uses. Now, all of the other buildings here will be locked. You have to clear some quests before you unlock these, so I'm not going to be talking about them now. My face is covering them, but there, we got all 4 of our people ready to go. Okay, since we got 2 new classes, we can go over the skills that they have. But I would just say the most important thing to look at is the preferred position, so knowing where to put them based on which skills they already have unlocked. Once you are able to unlock all of their skills, it's so fun mixing and matching people and creating really interesting teams with like cool synergies and stuff like that. But for now, the first dungeon, we will always have these 4 people. So we're just gonna keep these 2 at 3 and 4 because that's the preferred position, and we're just gonna keep these 2 where they are as well. Okay, so we did get 1 trinket. It's a Highwayman trinket. It gives extra damage to ranged skills, but it decreases his stun resistance, so there's a little trade there. Let's bring it in. Let's give him a little extra damage. His stun resistance is now 35. It dropped from 55 to 35. We should be okay. Once again, we're not looking at camping skills because camping skills, we do not even use them yet. So I'm gonna go into this first ruins with you and explain a couple more things before I end this video. Here's a very quick tip. In the ruins and the cove, these 2 right here, bring people that can blight. We didn't talk about blighting yet, but it's basically just like poisoning. This Plague Doctor has a lot of blight skills. So it's just like bleed, except it's poison. Okay, it's blight. It's bleed and blight. Bring blight people into ruins and the cove. And bring bleed people into warrens and the Weald. Okay? It's because most enemies in the ruins and the cove are very resistant to bleeding, so you won't be able to bleed them. In the warrens and the Weald, the enemies tend to be resistant to blight, which is why you want to bring bleeding instead. Okay? So with that said, let's go into our first ruins dungeon. Now, provisioning!
The cost of preparedness.
This is something that you're gonna have to kind of get used to and figure out how much of each thing you want to bring into a dungeon. A short dungeon, you want to bring in a certain amount of stuff. Medium dungeon, gotta bring in a little bit more stuff. Long dungeon, you want to bring in a little more stuff. Those are the 3 dungeon lengths in this game that you have to be aware of right now. So, some food. What food does is it heals you a little bit. And if you randomly get a hunger check, you want to always have 4 food in your inventory so that your people don't get hurt by starvation. Okay? You always want to bring a couple shovels in. I don't think I wouldn't say you need 18 food for a short dungeon, but I'm just gonna bring extra just to show you. So, the holy water we get for free because we're bringing in a Vestal. The Antivenom we get for free because we're bringing in a plague doctor. It doesn't really tell you, I think. Oh, it does tell you. This item cannot be sold. It might be a free item that came from using a specific class, like the Antivenom for the plague doctor, exactly. So, can't sell those. Okay. Let's bring a bandage, an herb, let's bring a key, 1 holy water. No, I don't need to bring a holy water. And let's bring some torches so I can show you what torches do. Alright. I wouldn't buy laudanum. Laudanum is used against horror, which we won't see right now. So don't even... Honestly, I've beaten so many files and I've bought 0 laudanum, so... You don't really need it, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, let's go in with these provisions and embark. Alright, here we are in the ruins! First thing you do, open up your map! Here we are right here. And remember, if you want to move to a different room, don't move inside rooms. Click on the square to move to the next room. Alright, 4 squares, which means 4 chances of things maybe happening. Oop, you see that? That was stress right there. Stress can just happen while you're walking around because it's stressful being in a scary dungeon. Our stress levels are 20, 23, 25, and 0. Okay, so let me talk about real quick what stress does. So it says 0 out of 200 stress, right? When you get to 100 stress, you will get what is called a resolve check. The base chance of getting afflicted is 75%, so it is much more likely that you will be afflicted rather than virtuous. But that chance changes depending on what level you are and what dungeon you're in, etc, etc. All you need to know is that it is much more common to get afflicted, which is very bad. There are many different afflictions, which all do different things. Some of them will make the character hurt themselves, or hurt their teammate, or just pass their turn, or do whatever they want, almost as if you don't have the proper gym badge for a Pokemon. Some afflictions make you stress out the rest of your team. It's just not a good time, so you want to keep your stress as low as possible. There are ways to increase your virtue chance, like with trinkets and stuff, but that we will get into way later. So here we go. Keep on going. Ooh, there's a curio here. What is this? It's just a torch. Yay! So this one is just a torch. You can always just touch the torch. There's nothing bad from touching torches. You know what? While we're here, let me tell you something real quick about curios. Curios, I really recommend you just go to the Darkest Dungeon Wikipedia, go to the curios page, and look at all the interaction. If you are someone who really doesn't like using any type of walkthroughs at all and just want to suffer through the game, then you can totally do that too. But if you don't really care and you want to know what the best thing to do is, I would say go to the wiki and just look at what things to interact with. There's a lot to memorize, which is why it's nice to just have the wiki up, but you can also just do a lot of trial and error too. So here we are in front of our room. Let's now talk about torchlight, shall we? So if you hover over the torchlight, it'll say that we are in dim light right now, which says extra stress for us taken, extra chance for monsters to crit, but also a little bit of extra chance of us to dodge, for us to scout, and an increased chance for monsters to be surprised. It says shift click to reduce torch, shift control click to snuff out the torch, make the light 0. Let's go into this room with dim light and then I'll show you more about what the torch does after this battle. So we are in a 4v2 situation. This is gonna be very sad for these skeleton boys. Before we came into this dungeon, I said in a ruins dungeon, do not bring people who have bleed, bring people who have blight, and this is the reason why. Open vein is a bleeding skill, right? But the skeletons can't bleed. They have a bleed resistance of 200. I mean, you can still kill the skeleton because he only has 8 HP and the hero damage is between 5 and 9. There's a small chance we can still one-hit kill him, but it's just not optimal, is all I'm trying to say. Here, we have an 85% chance to hit between 5 and 10. Looks like this, Or we can do a Grape Shot Blast and hit both of these guys for 3 to 6. But I like doing single targeting. I don't really like spreading out my damage. I like getting rid of these people before they can act. And both of their speed is 1. Reynolds' speed is 1. Dismas' speed is 7. Our Plague Doctor's speed is 7. And our Vestal speed is 4. So these 3 are probably gonna attack first before these 2. Has a much bigger chance. So let's just try to kill him. Ooh, 9 damage. Perfect. So the only things that she can use right now against somebody in front here is a disorienting blast, which is a stun, or emboldening vapors, which is buffing your teammate. We can't use these because if we hover over these, it shows that it only hits people in positions 3 and 4. For both of these, but there's nobody in positions 3 and 4, so we have to either stun him or buff a target. But this stun can't reach the first guy. So I guess we should let's buff Reynold, let's buff his speed so that we give him a higher chance of attacking before this little skeleton man does. So our Vestal has a speed of 4 and Reynold now has a speed of 4, but our Vestal went first because it's always going to be a dice roll. We could use Judgment. What Judgment does is it does damage to the enemy, and it heals yourself 3 HP. Pretty good. It'll do 3 to 6 damage, and it has an 85% chance to hit. That's pretty good. Let's see what else she has. She has a Dazzling Light, which is a stun move, also increases your torch by 6. It was a 90% chance to hit. The stun percent chance is 90 because there's a base chance of 100, and he has a resistance of 10, 90% chance of stunning. We could try to stun him and then let Reynold take care of it. We got a crit. Every time you get a crit, you will reduce a little bit of your stress. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll even reduce your teammate stress. So we saw that our Plague Doctor did a little bit of stress heal, and our Vestal did a little bit of stress heal thanks to her critting. Now we will just smite. It says extra damage against Unholy. We hover over him. We see that his name is Bone Rebel and he is an Unholy. So we will do an extra 15% damage on him, which calculates to 9 to 18 damage. We get 70 damage. Very overkill, but sometimes it's gotta be done. Now let me show you the default party order button. Let's say somehow Reynold was pushed to the back or something, and you're like, I don't want to physically move everybody. Or let's say your party got really mixed up. All you have to do is click this button and it goes back to default party order. It's very nice and very convenient. Now let's click on this. There's a little curio here. Unlocked Strongbox. So unlock Strongbox, you can, for every single curio you come across, you can literally right click any of these just to see what they would do. Like for example, I'll waste a torch here. You can either drag the torch like that, or you can right click it. It says it has no effect, because that doesn't really make sense, right? Why would you use a torch to try to open an unlocked strongbox? Doesn't really make sense. But look here. There's a little X here. What that means is that you already know that the torch doesn't have any interaction with an unlocked strongbox. Therefore, from now on, every time you click an unlocked strongbox to try to open it, and you look in your inventory to see what you want to interact with it, the game will keep track and you will know that the torch does nothing. So that's really nice. Let me use another thing that I know is not going to work. The holy water. Boop. Had no effect. But it's gone. But if I had another holy water, it would show another X showing that, hey, you've already tried this combination. It didn't work. But you see how it gets rid of your items, and each item costs a lot of gold. And gold management is really important. Very crucial in early game, which is why I recommend just going to the curio page and knowing what to interact with. Most curios you don't want to touch with your hand, but in this case, you do just touch with your hand. You can just touch it with your hand, it's fine. Alright. We got a scout. So there's a scout chance, and the higher the light is, now we are at radiant light. 76. Anything over 76 and over is radiant light. Increase to our dodge, increased chance of scouting, and increased chance of monsters being surprised. So here we got a nice scout, so we got to see what's coming up here. So let's click on this room. We know that this room is gonna be empty because there's nothing in it, but on the way we know there's an obstacle and a fight. So let's go. We got a little bit of stress just from walking. Rubble. So there's an obstacle. This is why you want to bring shovels. Because if you don't bring shovels and you clear by hand, you will take a lot of damage and you'll take a lot of stress. So make sure to click on the shovel to clear the obstacle, okay? Now we know there's a battle coming in, and you know what? Let me get rid of this light and let me show you what black as pitch does. If you have 0 light, you get tons more stress. The monster gets tons more accuracy and damage. The monster gets tons of extra crit chance and is way more likely for your heroes to get surprised rather than the monsters to get surprised. But when your heroes get surprised, your entire party shuffles. It's just not a good time. However, you get a lot more loot and you get a lot more crit chance. So it's a gamble. It is a gamble, and most experienced players like me, we really like doing dark runs because we get so much money from them. But for a new player, I would really recommend don't do black as pitch. Start maybe hang around like dim light, radiant light. Unless you have the best luck in the world, then go ahead. Alright. Going against them, we didn't get a surprise, which is good, but they didn't get surprised either, which is fine. Now, there's a new guy. Bone Soldier, Bone Rabble, which we already fought 2 of, and a Cultist Acolyte. Now, you probably don't know who to hit first, because you've never seen these 2 before. But as a rule of thumb, the people in the back of dungeons tend to use stress skills. And this counts for every dungeon. People in the back line tend to use stressing skills. Because we don't really have anybody that can get rid of stress, we have a healer, but we also need to manage our stress level. So I recommend trying to kill the person who will stress out your team first. However, they also tend to be a little bit harder to hit. She has a dodge of 13. It says our hero to hit chance is only 73. Not the best. Maybe it's smart that we should use tracking shot to increase our accuracy. Maybe. Let's try it. Alright. Increased our accuracy and crit. Now, I don't want her to move yet. So she has a speed of 7. And our Plague Doctor also has a speed of 7. But we won the roll. We won that dice roll. So we get to go first, thank goodness, because I want to stun her. I do not want her to go and have a move and stress us out. So I'm gonna try to stun her. She has a stun resistance of 25%, so it's only a 75% chance to stun her, but let's try it. Nice! And not only does it just stun, it says shuffle single, which means it's gonna shuffle that single person that you targeted. Now she's stunned. Now we don't really have to kill her because she's not gonna have her move. Why don't we stun this guy? This guy in the front with the sword. It looks kind of scary. 75% chance to stun. Let's do it. This also increases our torchlight a little bit. So now it's not black as pitch, but it is still dark. So we still would get extra loot and still get extra crits. Now, the stun didn't go through 75%, but didn't go through. So let's use smite. There's a small chance that we can one-hit kill him. But we missed! Ah, we missed again! Reynolds, what are you doing? The graveyard slash reaching our back line. The bump in the night. Oh, beautiful dodge by Reynolds. Okay, let's try to... She's a human. She's not actually a skeleton. You'll see that she has flesh on her. So she can be bled. So let's try to bleed her. 89% chance to hit. 5 to 10 damage. Hopefully we do at least 8 and a bleed. 9 and a bleed. And we got the bleed, so now she's dead when it's her turn. Okay, let's do a little plague grenade on him. So, because skeletons can't be bled, we don't want to use any bleed attacks on them. However, look at their blight resistance. It's so low. It's a 90% chance to blight. So let's go ahead and blight him. The blight is 4 damage for 3 rounds. So it's 12 blight. Really good. I'm going to try stunning him again. We missed. It's okay. The Vestal's accuracy isn't that great. This guy really likes hitting our Plague Doctor, huh? Bump in the night. That doesn't really do much. This guy's gonna die anyway, so let's focus on attacking this guy. 85% chance to hit, 6 to 12 damage. 11! We needed 10 and we got 11. Perfect. Now, usually when an enemy is gonna die anyway, what I personally like to do is kind of stall the fight. So just like move people, because this is exactly why. Because I wanted my Vestal to get a turn to heal my Plague Doctor a little bit so that we don't have to use food to heal her. And we're just stalling because we know he's gonna die anyway. Might as well kill him now because I got the heal that I wanted to get off. And we got some stuff. Default party order again because I did move him to kind of stall a little bit. I'm gonna go in here because it's dark. Our chance of scouting is pretty low. Let's go up here because there's a treasure chest in this room. It says room battle with treasure and it says room battle with curio. Curios sometimes are really, really good. Sometimes they're like, just okay. We're just gonna keep walking in the black-ass pitch because you get more loot when it's very dark. Ooh, the sapphire! It's 1,000 gold! This is why I like doing dark runs, but it's also so risky because I could die very quickly, suddenly. Alright, 3 guys again. This is a new man. His name is Cultist Brawler. He is a human, which means he can be bled. I would still like to stun this woman so she doesn't get to... We couldn't stun her! Let's try to slash her open and make her bleed. 5 to 9 damage. 6 damage, pretty good. We got the bleed off, pretty good. Oh, she's really fast though. No, she's stressing out our Plague Doctor. Ooh! Now she has a stress of 48. Okay. We just need to do 3 damage. Hero chance to hit is 73%. It's not that great, but I believe in our Vestal. Good job, Vestal. Good job, good job. Now who's gonna go next, okay? He's gonna go next. Everybody hates our Plague Doctor! Goodness gracious! Good dodge by Dismiss. Good dodge. Let's stun him. 75% chance to stun. 3 to 6 damage. 4 damage with a stun. Very good. Okay. Goodness gracious, we need to heal up our Plague Doctor because they are destroying her. Ooh, he was gonna go first too. Even though, see, he had a speed of 5. This has a speed of 7, but he still went first. That can happen. Let's cut this guy open! And then let's stun him because I don't want him to come for my Plague Doctor again. Very good, very good. Now I can heal. Oh my god! A crit heal is so good! Also, like I said before, anytime someone crits, you get a stress heal as well. That includes healing skills too. We only need to do 4 damage to him up in front because he has a bleed of 2. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use our AoE attack because it does 4 to 8 damage, 85% chance to hit. I'm pretty sure we're gonna kill him, and we also get to do a little bit of damage to this guy in the back. Good. 5 damage and 7 damage. That's a lot. He is going to bleed. Okay, so every time you stun somebody, they will get a stun resistance so that you can't just keep chain stunning them. Therefore, I don't want to try to stun him again. Instead, I want to try to increase Dismiss's speed with this buff, the speed buff, just so I can almost guarantee that Dismiss will go first so that he won't do any more damage to our poor Plague Doctor. Now, here... we are going to use Open Vein. We don't care that they can't bleed because all I need to do is 3 damage. And it's hero damage 5 to 9, 95% chance to hit.
Press this advantage.
Very good.
Give them no quarter.
Bum 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 bum. Ooh. Okay, so this is an heirloom chest. A chest with your family sigil. An heirloom chest you can open with a shovel, I believe, but it will give you less stuff. I would recommend using a key to open all the chests that you see. The key unlocks a hidden compartment. We found a debuff charm. Debuff resistance -2 dodge. I mean, these guys don't even have dodge, so might as well just give this to one of them. It's just like a free debuff resistance increase. Citrine is the gem that is worth the least amount of money. It's only worth 250. The sapphire is worth 1,000, and emeralds are worth 750. So I might not even take this. I don't think I need it. I'm not gonna take the citrine. We somehow got a scout, even though it's black as pitch. Ooh, I'm gonna go down this corridor and show you guys what this trap is. So the scout has showed us that there is a trap in this hallway. If we had no scout, we wouldn't know that there was a trap in this hallway, and we would have stepped on it and taken stress damage and regular damage. Bad, 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 bad. So here we are approaching this trap here. So when you approach the trap, if you hover over everyone's little trap symbol, it shows you what percentage they have of removing this trap. 50% for the Vestal, 60% for the Plague Doctor, 90% for the Highwayman, and only 60% for the Crusader. So the Highwayman has the best chance of disarming this trap. Now, the number of times someone has had 90% chance of trap disarming and didn't disarm the trap is just uncountable, but hopefully, Dismiss. Thank you! Yay! He disarmed the trap. I'm very proud of him. We're gonna continue on to this empty room. We know this room is empty because there's nothing in it. Now, okay, let's take a look up here at our top left. The quest here is explore 90% of the rooms. So we only need to go to like 2 more rooms, right? So we could go down here because we know it's empty, and maybe this is empty too, I don't know. Or we can go, I do know, it's a chest. But we can go down here too and see what this battle is and what curio this is. Let's go down here. I'm curious. Let's be greedy and let's try to explore the whole map. Good job, Dismiss. 90% chance. And every time you disarm a trap, you relieve stress. Every time you fail to disarm a trap, you get a lot of stress. So you want to be able to disarm these traps. Okay, I came in here because I wanted to show you this curio. I don't know how the hell they're surprised because it's black as pitch. So the chance of the enemies being surprised is very low. But I'm just going to take this opportunity to buff my Highwayman for the rest of this battle, since they're all surprised, which means we are going to use all of our attacks first. Let's do a little bit of damage to this guy in the back. A crit heal. So what Judgment does is it does damage, and remember it self heals 3, but your healing can crit. So she crit the heal, which became 6, and it also reduced her stress because it crit. Amazing. Let's blight him too. He's just having a bad time right now. We only need to do 3 damage to him, but I should have probably just stunned him and shuffled him forward. I probably shouldn't have played him because he's definitely gonna have a turn now, but it's okay. Should we be greedy and try to one-hit kill this skeleton, or should we try to stun him? I don't know. But let's try to just smite. We did want to kill him. Very nice. So he's gonna shoot once again our Plague Doctor, who is taking all the hits for us. Thank you, Plague Doctor. 10 is a lot of damage. So we don't need to hit this archer in the back because he's blighted. He only has 3 health. The blight does 4 damage. He's gonna be dead. Let's just shoot this one. Ooh, 9 damage, but he only has 1 health left. We're gonna go ahead and just stun him because I'm stalling a little bit so that I can use our Vestal to heal once again. Thank you! Thank you for that heal, Vestal. He's stunned, so he couldn't have his move. His stun resistance is now higher, but we're just going to kill him. Very good. I'm gonna let's just get rid of these torches. I don't want them. Alright. So this holy fountain, so what it does is it reduces your stress and heals you if you use holy water. So we're gonna use holy water. We're gonna have our Plague Doctor chosen. Make sure she's clicked. And then use the holy water. Either drag it or you can right click it. Divine benefit! Yay! See, it healed her 12 and it decreased her stress by 20. Very good. That's why I came down here, because I wanted to show you this curio. What is this curio down here? I'm just curious if I want to show you this. Okay, so this is a sack. Sacks you can just touch. Or, oh ho ho, I'm glad I came down here because I wanted to show you this too. I'll be keeping this for myself. Reward hard earned. So, you're like, what the hell's going on? I didn't see all that stuff go into my inventory. Well, Reynold is a kleptomaniac. So he's prone to stealing items. Yep. That's right, your own characters can steal from you. So the reason why I'm going forward into these rooms instead of going backwards is every time you backtrack, there's a chance of your people getting like a lot more stress. There's no chance of getting stressed when you move forward, but it's only like 2. But when you backtrack, they get a lot more stressed because they can't see what's behind them and they get really stressed out. These packs and sacks. Oh my god, he's gonna steal from me again. He stole a lot of food and some crests at 500 gold again. Reynold is being a very bad crusader right now. Okay, we're gonna come in here. We know this is an empty room. Yay! We get a hunger check. Not yay, but I'm glad I get to show you. I forgot this was in the tutorial. So this is what a hunger check looks like. It just randomly happens. And basically, you can either eat 4 food and the hunger check goes away, or eat nothing, take 20% damage and a lot of stress. Luckily, we have so much food, so just eat the food and it's fine. Also, Reynold is a little bit low, so he can eat even more food. The maximum food your people can eat, I think, per like battle or something is 4. So I just fed him 4 food. I'm trying to feed him more, I can't, he's full. So you can't just bring in like 50 million food and use that as your only healer because they're only gonna eat 4 food. So it says quest complete because we only needed to go into 90% of the rooms, not all of the rooms. However, we're gonna get a scout and you're gonna see there's a chest in this room. And I'm greedy, so I'm the type of person who likes to clear out the dungeons when my people are looking pretty okay. And they're looking pretty okay, they're looking pretty healthy, pretty unstressed. We have just found another obstruction. Make sure to click the shovel, not the hand. And we have cleared it. Now we're going in here as black as pitch. I threw away all my torches because I didn't need them. Let's go in there. Hopefully our party doesn't get shuffled. It is a 4-man party versus a 4-man party. So it's kind of scary. What I would like to do here is I would love to stun both of these guys. 83% chance to hit, 90% chance to hit, and a 90% chance to stun both of them. So, whoop. Beautiful. This little man here, he loves to throw wine in your face and give you a lot of stress, so I really like killing him first. So I'm gonna try to do some damage. Of course the Vestal would miss. She's not very accurate. But also his dodge is really high. 73% chance of hitting. Probably not gonna hit, but I believe in Dismiss's power. 7 is so good. We just need to do 3 more damage to him. But he's also really fast. Look, his speed is 8. So he's probably definitely going to have a chance to attack us. Oh, this is a new boy. He has a shield. If we hover over him, under Bone Defender, it says Unholy. To the right, it says Protection 25%. So he's a beefy guy. You gotta kill him with blights. Regular physical attacks won't hurt him as much as it'll hurt someone else. See, it does 5 to 10 damage on him, but 6 to 12 damage on him because he has that extra protection. He has protection 25. He has protection 15. A little bit less protection, so you do more damage on him. Let's do some damage, though. I believe in Reynold's amazing power. He stole so much from me that he must pay me back by one-hit killing this man. 2 away from a one-hit kill. We're gonna get axe-bladed by this man in the front. It's okay. I cannot believe the Bone Coutier didn't go first with a speed of 8. We went first. He only has 3 health remaining. I'm gonna play grenade. He's gonna get blighted by 4 and die immediately. I knew he was gonna go next. Alright, the Arbalist went before our Highwayman, despite our Highwayman having a higher speed. But it's okay. Let's do, you know what, let's do Grape Shot Blast. And try to kill this guy while also doing damage to both of these guys, even though our accuracy is not that great. So come on, Dismiss. Yes, Dismiss, you did it. Okay, we need to do 2 damage to him, or we need to heal. I'm gonna be greedy and do damage to him because this is the last fight anyway. Who cares if we are low on health? When you go back to Hamlet, your health gets to full. Your stress, however, does not. So stress is actually more important to manage if you can in the dungeon. You might not be able to. Dead weight moves me and stuns me. Oh no, now the Plague Doctor is in a position that she doesn't really would love to be in because she can't really do anything. So I'm gonna have to just buff Reynold here because there's nothing else I can do. And then, ooh, Smite. Does 7 to 13 damage. Let's do it! Yes! We got 10 damage! nice, very nice. Ooh, we got a lot of good stuff here.
Success so clearly.
And heirloom chest once again. Use a key to open it.
Trick of the light.
Dun, 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 dun. So, since this is the last room, and we know we're gonna go home now, all these like small items that you haven't used, I would definitely replace them with like heirlooms, which are like busts or portraits, crests, or money or whatever. So now, quest complete. You just click on this seal emblem thing over here, and we go home. Victory! These are our quest rewards. Collect the treasure amount, collected heirlooms. Heirlooms are important for upgrading buildings, which is very important. Okay, so Reynold and Dismas didn't get anything new, but Mooseheart and Gordon did as they leveled up. Ooh, our Plague Doctor is now an Unholy Slayer. Extra accuracy in crit versus Unholy. Gordon is Nocturnal, which means if the torch is above 75, Gordon gets a -2 speed penalty. But Gordon has extra damage on range skills, which is pretty good, because Gordon does have range skills that she uses. So that's a pretty good positive quirk there. Don't worry about this. This is the DLC PvP. So now that we did our first quest, there's 2 buildings that we have unlocked. The Abbey.
The cobwebs have been dusted.
And the
pews set
tavern.
straight. The Abbey calls to the
So
faithful.
all the Abbey and the Tavern does
Fresh kegs,
is
cards,
reduce
and
your stress.
curtains.
So you see here how Mooseheart has 30 stress, a little bit of stress. You don't have to put Mooseheart into the stress relief if you don't want to, because there is a little bit of idle stress healing, which just means anybody that's not used in a dungeon, they get a little bit of stress relief while they're just hanging out in town. So you don't have to put her into stress relief. But if you wanted to, you could spend 1,000 gold to put her into stress relief. We have 16,000 gold, and you might say that's a good amount. It's not. It's not. We really have to pay attention how much we use. So we always look at your stagecoach. I recommend upgrading your stagecoach early on. So I would use, if you click on here, it says cost 3 deeds and 4 crests, and you look on the bottom, we have 10 deeds and 36 crests. So we're gonna go ahead and increase our Stagecoach Network to increase the number of available heroes to 3. So next week, after the next dungeon, there's gonna be 3 heroes to choose from here. So we got an Arbalist and a Houndmaster, both classes I really like. I mean, these are all classes I really like. You could increase hero barracks to 13, but I wouldn't spend the deeds on that right now because we're not even close to filling up our roster, so I wouldn't spend it. It's important to not waste your heirlooms, and you do kind of learn when and where to use your heirlooms. I recommend upgrading the Stagecoach first, and then after the next quest, the Blacksmith and the Guild will be unlocked, which I think I'll show you in the next video, because this video is already pretty long. But I recommend upgrading the Guild and the Blacksmith quickly as well. I don't really upgrade the Abbey, Sanitarium, or Tavern too much in super early game. Super early game, I like to focus on the Stagecoach, the Guild, and the Blacksmith. But that'll do it for this very, very, very beginner tutorial. This tutorial is for absolute new Darkest Dungeon players, but still it was a lot of information to digest, and there's still so much more that we have to talk about strategy-wise, what buildings to upgrade, etc., etc. This game really has a very steep learning curve, which is why I decided to make some tutorial videos to kind of hopefully help people get into Darkest Dungeon a little bit easier. But remember, you're supposed to fail. Don't feel bad about it if you don't do well in this game. You're supposed to fail. You're supposed to, sometimes you have to just screw this estate and make a whole new one and start all over, and you know what? That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes RNG screws you over. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please give me a like and comment. It really helps me out. And if people have enough interest in these tutorial style videos, I would love to make some more, so please let me know, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the next tutorial video. Goodbye everybody!